Good evening, Facebook. My name's Matt Henry, in case you don't know, and this is my beautiful daughter, Ayana. And what I wanted to do was read a poem that I wrote for her when she was around 4 years old. Well, first of all, I'll give you some background on me. When I when I was a kid and I was coming up, I had a hard time, and I dealt with a lot and struggled with a lot and had a lot of issues with like self-worth and self-esteem, and just had a lot of issues and a lot of problems. And I decided probably pretty early on when I was like a teenager that I didn't want my children to feel that way, and I didn't want them to wonder if they were special or if they were important to anybody or any of that stuff. And so what I did was, I didn't know what child would come into my life first, or if I even have a child. But on October 28, 1999, this young lady came into my life. And just in case you can't tell, she is mixed. I'm white, obviously, and her mother is black. And so anyway, Ayana, when she was about 4 years old, I got out of the military, and we didn't have much money, and we were staying with my mother and my stepfather, and we were in College Park, where I'm from, and she had to attend a free pre-K in East Point. And just in case you don't know the demographics of East Point, it's mostly black, and she was the whitest thing in her class. There were no white people in there. And whenever I would visit the class, it was sort of cute and funny. Kids would act like I was like a pony or something. They would come up and they would touch me, and they would talk to me and question me and want to know about me. And eventually some of them would say things like, I want you to be my daddy. And I always feel sort of funny about that. It tugs at your heartstrings when kids say that kind of stuff to you. But anyway, so one particular day, Ayana, we used to get in the car and I'd turn on a radio or a CD and we would sing. I love to sing, and she can't really do it like I can, but she loves to sing too. And she used to love Alicia Keys' Fallen. That was the first little song she loved to sing, and so I played it constantly. But anyway, this one day I pick her up from pre-K, put her in her car seat, get in the car, turn on the radio, and as we're rolling out of the parking lot, I noticed she's not singing. And so I don't know if you remember this at all. You may not.
No.
But anyway, I turned the radio off, or I turned the music off, and I said, Ayana, what's up? And at first she didn't say anything, and so I said, baby, what's going on? And she said, Daddy, what am I? And at first I didn't know what she was talking about. And I said, what do you mean, what are you? And she said, am I white or am I black? And I said, I went into this long spiel that was way over her head, because when I got done talking to her about it, she sort of looked at me funny, like I'm 4 years old, and you just told me all this really deep stuff. And so I don't know if you remember your old nickname that you gave yourself, but so I broke it down to her like this. I said, hey, Daddy's like a glass of milk, and Mommy's like chocolate syrup, and God poured the chocolate syrup in the milk and mixed it together and made you, and you were chocolate milk. And she used to call herself chocolate milk. Do you remember that?
No.
No, you used to like that.
No, I don't remember.
But anyway, so, even though she was satisfied by that little explanation then, I wanted to write the words down. So so if she needed them, or if something happened to me and I wasn't here to tell her anymore, she would know how special she is. Because I never wanted my children to have a hole in them like I felt like I walked around with for years. And sometimes I still struggle with. And so anyway, what I wanted to say before I read the poem, though, is this poem, it talks about race, but it's not just about race. What it's about is letting your child know that they're beautiful and they're special, And so they don't have to try and look for that somewhere else, you know. And so anyway, here's the poem I wrote for her when she was 4 years old. Like I say, back then she didn't really get this message, but I hope she knows it now. It's called The Color of Beautiful. One day my daughter asked me, "Daddy, please tell me what's right. Some people call me black, others say that I'm white." And see, the truth of the matter is she was made up of both and was a little confused about which way to go. I paused for a second and thought about what to say to this wonderful, precious jewel that God gave me to raise. I didn't want to tell her that she had to choose one side or the other, though I knew that's what some would do. It finally hit me, and I knew what to tell her, even though some might try and say she was red, brown, or high yellow. My gorgeous little girl, who was the light of my life, sat down beside me, and I looked into her eyes. I told her that this world is way too bent on hurting, and that she would encounter ignorance. Of that, I was certain. Because her mama's skin is brown. Some people would reject her because her mama's skin is brown, or because her daddy's white, they might try and put her down. She seemed confused about why someone would do this, but God put words in my mouth that I thought could help her make it through this. The thing that you must know, and what I believe to be true, if there's only one word that could ever describe you. And if you're a color, it is yet to be named, because you're the color of beautiful, and that will never change. And it hasn't. She's still beautiful, and I love her, and she's precious to me. We go through some rough times, and I know she'll say that, she'll admit that we don't always get along. But I love this girl, and I hope you'll share that if you feel like it'll help anybody. And I appreciate your time and your attention. Thank you.